Video. Oh, I'm rolling. Oh man, I went to a neighborhood meeting because when we had our flood in May 2010, um, that somebody sent out, I think it was Ford Jr. sent out for the grant. Well, they don't like the plans that they have, which is afterwards they think they're going to buy up the property. But the real thing is, what they said, they was jealous that some of the other people in the other area, they said they got 20 houses built and they had that and this and the other, built. They don't want a bicycle route and anything. They want a football field. My first problem with the football field is they're talking about behind the school is a swamp. Now the city put a fence to keep people from dumping trash, and then the city put a hole in the took out a piece of the fence, where they could drive up through there, and they dump stuff back in the water. And when they mow in the park over here, they dump all their sticks, the leaves, and other rubbish that they find from mowing right in the little creek. Because I walked around there and you could see it. And I actually showed up the day they were working, and I just decided not to stay there because city workers are evil around here. But anyway, but they want a football field. You must not have no kids around here. I must be the only woman in the whole world. Of course, I don't have any kids around here. But anyway, but like their kids gonna get rich and buy them a home with the football. I had a cousin play Jets, Winston Hill. And all I gotta say about that is, I think like you got like a good 5 years of playing, and if you're lucky, and yeah, you make a lot of money. But um, I've seen people in other careers, um, in the banking industry in New York that did the same job 30, 35 years, and they quadruple that. So I mean, they don't think, they're not thinking really about, oh yeah, football, basketball, but the chance anyway. So they these mothers, they really think their kid's going to be a football player. We had a famous basketball player they found dead in the field. I can't remember his name. I don't pay attention to sports. His divorced wife was a cocaine fiend by then, and shot him for his insurance because he just wasn't giving her enough money. And from the looks of her, she didn't have two nickels to rub together when she met him, right? She's probably straight out of high school, colleges like him, right? So she hadn't never been in the workforce. She wore little mini shorts when the cameras were there, and yeah. She spent all the money. I don't think she saved any for her kids. So, but that was the wife. So, So anyway, one of the things they were already talking about is jealousy. Because I know I don't get along with some of the women around here. And I was like, I'm listening to them like they got a real problem with jealousy. Because they worried about what those other people got. They could have turned this around to what they're going to give us and still get what they got if they use their fucking common sense, because they want to keep the wetlands wet. They want where the swamp is that to be where the fallout is already in the existing areas where it holds water and nobody's living in. Which to me makes perfectly good sense. And the bank up the river, and where she's talking about they're gonna take out Anderson. I'm like, which Anderson? There's black folks around here with there's two Anderson streets right next to each other. But anyway, but one lady, I'm gonna go talk to her. Is her house was covered in water. She redid her house. I'm gonna let her know that they just full of shit. They just really got a hard on for a football field in a goddamn swamp. And I don't know. I don't care. What type of environment damage you'd have to do to make the swamp not a swamp. But that would mean that the water that was in the swamp would probably have to go someplace else, have to be redirected in people's houses around there. Yeah. Anyway, so but they gave me a headache. They're so ignorant. I mean, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk to the other lady because I know exactly what's gonna happen. They're just not gonna end up giving us the money or doing the project around here because they're almost done with it. So they got that much pushback from the community because they're not getting enough stuff. You know, they're getting something free. It's just like this lady Dot. She came around on her birthday. Or she came around the day before asking for crackers. I didn't have crackers. I had graham crackers. So like the next day when I seen her, I'm like, I'll tell you, because I figured she probably think I'm lying. I'm I'm supposed to have everything, not for them. Everything for me. I only could for me. They come around and you bite them in, and you got enough toilet paper to last to the next for the like on the ninth when I go buy toilet paper. And then with them, you're 4 rows short. You're not just 1 row, but you're in a 4 rows short. So it doesn't last to the night. Shit like that. So I'm like, Anyway, so she comes in. So I had gave her the graham crackers, and then I had bought like about 6 months ago some coconut shrimp in a big old box from Little Juniors, which is like they get like stuff from Costco rejects and other big warehouse stuff. You folks get like wholesale discount, and they got like kitchen type of utensils. They got all type of stuff, stuff in there. It's not really all that cheap, but the shrimp was. I got this like counting like 48 for like $8. Well, I ate probably about 30 of them. I don't know. I couldn't eat. I don't know how many was in the box, but it was a lot. And I gave her like a whole bag full of them because um, I don't know like if they're gonna go bad with frost, but they fish stays. But I just I got you gotta fry it the way it's like. It's not like I can bake it. You have to fry it, and I got tired of it. I still have some, um, you know. But so then she gonna come back the next day want a box of macaroni and cheese. I don't ever buy a box of macaroni and cheese. That's ridiculous. When you can buy elbow noodles and buy cheese, be better. Get you some cheddar sharp cheese. Get you a log of that. Work with it. Just pretty much just get some cheese in there. Make the noodles and bake that cheese in there. And um, but I don't buy boxed macaroni and cheese. Um, I don't like the taste of it. I don't even think that's cheese. But anyway, and so and then the next day she gonna come and ask me for something else crazy, right? So then the another day, like I can't find these one pair of my glasses that I had on top of, or I had in here, like on top of my books that for when I'm in here, and I don't have to look all around the house. I put them in the same spot all the time, on the top of that other book thing, on the very top of that blue book. That's where they sit. And so anyway, I can't find my glasses where I'm like, I can't believe I took it out. She gonna knock on my door with the damn glasses on. My glasses on her fucking face. And I'm like, and she an elder lady. She's like in her 80s, late 70s. She's an old. No, she retired in her 70s. So it's been a few. Yeah, she's like in her mid to late 70s. And she hardly ever talks because she got chew in her mouth. And then now she want to talk. I'm like, no. I didn't tell her why. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm sick of that coming over here. So just like that. And I'm not the type of person. I'm not having it. Because like the other neighbors know I don't have no company. I done told a few people they can't come they can't come over here ever again. I don't feel like I have to explain to them. You just have to accept that the way these people are like, oh, I'm a Christian, the way they think they're Christians is that they're supposed to just they're able to just do bad sin things, and then they could just go to church and cry and hoop and holler about how they're sinners, which I don't cotton to that the way they, so they could still rape, rob, whatever, go to church and get forgiven. I'm like, you crazy as fuck. But anyway, so she can't come in the house. I don't care. It was cool like when we were outside, when I was sitting on the porch and she started showing up, but it's too cold for me to sit on the porch, so I start biting her in. She only stays a few seconds because she's looking for some place to spit, and I'm like, you gotta spit outside. So she just goes ahead and goes. That's a nasty habit. But anyway, talking about nasty habit. Our president again is talking about there's no collusion. He is found innocent. Yeah, right. I'll let my hair go back natural, or I might not. But the secret to straighten your hair is heat. Heat, either heat through a curling iron, flat iron, or just a hair dryer heat and comb and pull, or chemical heat. But whatever you do, don't just go like down when you do it and leave your ends. Whatever method you use, but I probably roll it up and I got conditioner in there. I left it in there and I had it tied up in a ponytail. It's all back. It was raining today. I woke up, but anyway, so that's the secret to straightening hair: heat. No, it's not a secret no more. Everybody knows. Even black hair, I don't care how kinky your hair is. Because like white hair doesn't hold as much water as black hair. Water holds a lot. Black hair rather water. Black hair is, or at least my hair, it holds a lot of water. You can tell when it gets humid because it'll frizz up even more. It loves water. But when you heat anything up that has water in it, you all seen water, and when it boils, it moves and it evaporates. So you're taking moisture out, and that's why it could be easily breaking off and damaged. And why like like I try to keep moisture in there, So I might, since I got the conditioner and I'll wash it out at 6 o'clock. Wash it out about an hour or whatever. I've been all day yesterday. I don't care. Um, um, I'll wash it out and I might do it. The green. I might like just leave some heat on it, like just like oil the ends, just oil my whole hair, put conditioner, and then put oil, especially on my ends. I'll go ahead and roll it up, but it'll 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 stay for a few hours if it ain't too humid. Anyway, that's commercial for black hair in the middle of this. But anyway, so I think that just like I'm just off the subject with my neighborhood, I think they're gonna end up just losing that grant, which is fine with me. Because if they're gonna be jealous of what somebody else has, I don't know why they want a football field. So anyway. And we don't know what's going on. Well, I think it's exciting. I'm glad the FBI came out with the information that they did come out with. Change the subject here, but I am glad that the FBI did come out with new information. Mainly because, like, Trump and the Republicans are trying to make it sound like the FBI is just sitting around not, working for their paycheck. And I know it doesn't look good that that child that went on a shooting spree in that school in Florida, um, just a few days ago, that somebody had tried to tell him that the boy said something about he wanted to shoot up a school or something. So, you know, they probably could learn a lesson and maybe apply that to um, other parts, like what was going on with the election and the Russian hackers. But, like when I was younger, to find somebody really was sort of easy. You get a phone book. Everybody had a house phone. And it had and with that address. And if you just had the address, you could still get their phone number, reverse phone book or whatever. That had people. So or you could just. But nowadays everybody has a cell phone. We don't have phone books like we used to, with everybody that has a phone number in it. So it makes it a little harder. But the guy was using his actual name, so that I think, like with some of my experience, the guy that called, they probably start investigating him. 'Cause they had his name, his address. I bet you that's what happened. Let's just watch. Why is he calling, talking about some kid want to shoot up a school? Yeah, why is he doing that? You know what I'm saying? It's like you sort of bump into some stuff like that, a hard wall, because the FBI, because of a lot of the people that launder money, people that are blackmail and embezzles, and like mobs and stuff like that, they do flaunt and throw around a lot of money, and they do, one of the things is to find your weakness, you know, and usually money, sex, pretty much is number one thing. They're pretty sure you know, because like that could distort your whole thinking. Because that's what it looks like. It's the problem with Trump and some of the people that were surrounding him, like Flint, like Steve Bannon, and the rest of them. Um, they were greedy. You know, uh, and Russia, they got a lot of people with a lot of money. I used to hear that, that they didn't have as much money as the people that was backing them in China, which is probably true since we buy everything from China. Trump can't start no shit with China. China was just like, okay, we won't send you any more goods. We won't make your ties anymore. We won't make that whatever. If he sells those suits he has on, we won't make those ugly ass oversized clown suits with your little clown tie. Don't drink. But anyway, I think that the big thing is going to be the information they have about Trump's taxes, his tax returns. That he doesn't want anybody to see his money. He doesn't want to see anybody to see where he gets his money and where his money goes to. So it seemed like he paying off some of these prostitutes that he be around and female whatever, high dollar. So which it sounds ridiculous. Oh yeah, she's a high dollar prostitute. First she's have sex, like, cause I think back then they didn't even use rubbers in those X-rated movies, cause when they were filming them, because they made a big deal about it and thinking that people won't watch if there's rubbers on it or won't, you know, to bother somebody. Really. And until they had like a bunch of them died from AIDS, Um, so here's this lady for a living. She has sex with just numerous, people she don't even know on the camera, and then she gets to go around different clubs, I guess, also, you know. Um, so you know, I can see why his wife, because definitely while she was pregnant, if he was hanging out, with this porn star and he had sex with her, and they said in the thing that he had sex with her raw, he came home probably got the STD to his kid, and a lot of men that bring STDs home to the pregnant woman, or it can cause some brain effects. It can cause problems. Some people link it to pretty, not very good. Not very. It's not very good for the child. The slower, sort of makes him a slower child. Because syphilis and a bunch of other sexually transmitted diseases, um, it's like having a parasite that that's feeding off the different cells. It's going through your bloodstream, and you get enter any part of your wherever your blood goes. And when early development of the child, you think the brain. This is the biggest thing you see when you look at it sound around is that head. Well, anyway, let me get off of here. I think that I think we got a hell of a problem. Like, I hope that we find out more about Trump's tax return.